Hey guys, good morning. So I can't see the chat, and I accidentally ruined everything trying to fix my Streamlabs problem. But apparently I'm still alive, so at least you can hear me. I mean, you know how it goes at this point, right? Nothing can ever really work right in the first time. Give me a moment, okay? Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be able to see the chat room soon. Oh, Naomi, are you awake? Naomi, are you awake? Do you want to talk for a minute while I try to fix this? No? You know that it's like 11, right? Naomi's just getting up, guys. Okay, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Okay, I should be able to pull up the chat now. Where is it? I fucking hate Streamlabs. People wanted it, so I put it in there, but fucking cancers. Yeah, fine. Okay, I'm back. I can see the chat again. What's going on? What's up, guys? In trying to fix Streamlabs, I've also been under other things. Russell Patton, $10. Hey, Dev, it's my birthday, and also sounds like you used to watch wrestling back in the day. And if so, what are you watching? Who's your favorite wrestler? I can't even remember, and it was WWF back then. But happy birthday, dude. Thank you very much. And $5 from Steven. Thank you very much as well. Why would there be a fucking pregnant Lilith Lovett plushie? Wait, Vosh is kind of packing? What is he packing, a thimble? I saw the picture. Charlie Taff, nothing here is good, frankly. Have you tried Steam Elements or StreamYard at all? No, I have not. This is my first time using like any kind of off-platform, like off YouTube, off Twitch kind of donation system. Anyway, give me a moment. Yeah, don't donate to that Streamlabs link, guys. I think it's kind of wrong. But first, I'm gonna basically announce the streams to social media. So I was trying to set this up first. Yeah, dude. There's a Vosh thimble dick pic out there. Let me see here. Weekly sip is up. Let's copy all this stuff and post it everywhere. What do you mean, Darth Khan? Why do you think Lilith was reluctant to admit simping for Vosh was a bad call? When did Lilith do any serious simping for Vosh? Adherent of Lady Columbia. Library of Hate is coming in handy for my diversity and multiculturalism class. That's run by a black professor. He's a social constructivist. Yeah, sometimes you might need to push back against a professor who has an ideological bent. Might get you. It might mean you fail the class, but it's probably better in the long run. If I said this on Sargon stream, but my friend keeps wanting a revolution/overhaul of the system. I tried talking him down. What do I do? Well, I saw you ask that question on Sargon stream, and I think his answer was correct. But also, I think if you're dealing on a personal level, I think what often a lot of people in our section of YouTube, including Sargon, I think, fail to they don't fail to realize it, but they fail to kind of keep it in mind, is that most rank and file socialists, like the non-ideological types, they believe what they believe because they're suffering. And sometimes compassion can go a long way. Like if you're suffering away and you feel like nothing you can do can change that, and the only thing that'll change it is like a radical revolution to implement some kind of new ideology, and that will finally alleviate your suffering. Sometimes sympathy and a positive word and encouragement, like, no, maybe you can fix your situation. Maybe you can fix your situation without wild revolution. Sometimes it's not just all about. Yes, sometimes you can approach it from an emotional perspective instead of a rational one, and that'll work too. So YouTube is now telling me that I'm not broadcasting any audio to you, but you guys are still reacting like I am. Like, you can still hear me, right? Man, everything's fucking up right now. The SCOTUS pick is Barbara Lagoa, woman of... Who's Barbara Lagoa? Is that new? Let's look her up. Supreme Court pick likely to be Amy Coney Barrett or Barbara Lagoa. Hispanic woman to be appointed as a justice of the Supreme Court of Florida. Meanwhile, if she's qualified, fine. I recommend getting the WWE Network, watching a bunch of the old stuff, because new wrestling sucks. I don't know if I have time to get back into wrestling, dude. I'm sorry. But thank you. You still hear me. All right. I guess Susan lies. Is my audio quality lower than normal or something? Most people who believe in socialism aren't actually radicals. Most of them have been radicalized by bad events in their life. But if you can unmoor the event that radicalized them, the radicalization generally goes away. It's only like the small extreme of truly evil people that are ideologically are like ideologically involved in this shit, Okay, give me a moment. So on the old Game Boomers URL for Streamlabs, there are in fact a number of super chats that I'd like to read off that have been just from previous streams and stuff, and I think you guys deserve to hear them read. So here we go. Enter the name here, Bohemian. Says, what do you do if your wife starts smoking? Slow down and use some lubricant. Ah ha ha. Nice, dude. Hey, Dry Red, what's up? Chris Nemo, for $5, asks, Dev, you fuck, I was in the middle of your cuties video. Let me finish one thing before you start another. Sorry, dude. Big Joe, for $5, says, I'm a big fan of the Weekly Sip. Thank you. Mr. Personality, for $5. Your RAM is in the small white box. Yes, I thank you for getting me the RAM, dude. Like, you didn't have to. That was like $500 worth of RAM. Like, holy fuck, man. Thank you. Is it Hessian for $2? Hope you're feeling better, Dev. How much for you to read Moldbug? I don't know what Moldbug is, but I am feeling better. Was I sick back then? These are old super chats. $5 from Twisted Frenzy. When people discuss equality of opportunity and they say they want everyone at the same starting point, I feel like they are viewing the world like an MMO. Exactly how would you go by having everyone in a country start at the same baseline? There is actually a pretty good argument for social programs in that situation. Like, a poor person who's exceptionally talented, it would be better off for society if he actually managed to go to school in his field and then provide his talents to everybody else after they've been developed through education. So very clearly, like, if you can't afford to go to school, there should be like a student loan program, People can't participate in the free market if they die at 5 years old of cancer or something, right? So there's also very clearly an argument, even a capitalist argument, for a healthcare system. So I think basically just giving people at least a baseline of opportunity and then allowing them to either build on that or not based on their own natural proclivities is probably a good thing to do. Callback for $5. Socialism is to political ideals as atheism is to lapsed Catholicism. Kinda, yeah. They both. Well, no. Actually, it's kind of the other way around because the socialists often believe in what they believe in on pure faith, the same way that the Catholics do, and the same way that like all Christians do. Uppa for $1. Do you think Canada will balkanize in the next 50 years? Probably not. If so, do I care? Um, if it's like done through referendum, I don't actually care. You know, if people want to break off and do their own thing, and it's consensual, then that is their right, isn't it? And then Lol's Wally for $10. Keep up the great work, dude. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Now, let's see about getting some other things fucking properly working here because. No, wait, that's not the thing I wanted to do. Oh, good God. Oh, God. Dude, you have no idea how much I truly hate Streamlabs. It's the word. Why did this piece of shit app become the standard? There's nothing wrong with having faith, but there's a serious problem with having blind faith. That in fact can be a serious problem. Blind faith. Alright. Give me the login code, Mr. Phone. At least it's not Naomi fucking calling me again. Hey, Naomi, do you want to call me during the stream again? Naomi, you asleep? Are you back asleep? Okay, now that looks good. Yeah, driver. Like, if Quebec actually wants to break off, that's fine. That's fine, dude. It's okay. I mean, that would be a serious problem because they get most of their electricity from Newfoundland, so they'd be kind of fucked. But sometimes they don't think things through. Sometimes nationalists don't understand just how integrated they are into the rest of human civilization. And no, I don't blind faith science either. I'm using OBS right now, man, but OBS doesn't have like a built-in donations thingamabob. I also have blind faith that Dave will flake and not want to stream. I have faith that someone will old boy me. Okay, let me just scroll up here. I missed a few supers. Sorry. Hair Doctor for 5. How well do you think V is doing in this week in stupid content? He's doing pretty good. V's ultimate problem has always been the complete rejection of the idea of aesthetics. He's like anti-aesthetic. And Newfoundland is a wasteland, yeah, but it has like almost all of Canada's hydroelectric power from like just like giant waterfalls out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Okay. Sorry. What is it? Okay. But what's this? God. This is such a terrible application. Okay. So if I did this. So that should do like an annoying fucking alert. Like if I were to test it. Yeah, there's the annoying alert. Also, $89. Damn, that's a pretty high test. Okay, but I have been to Thunder Bay. I've spent several years there. It's a terrible place. Also, I kind of want to get rid of that dumb zombie. Okay. Oh my god, dude. Like the back end of Streamlabs is just terribly laid out. Where? Who? Do you like RGB on your computer and RBG in the grave? No. I actually liked Ruth Bader Ginsburg for the most part. No, Sargon didn't like her, but I did. Like, I feel like people often forget that I'm still kind of left leaning. I'm just not a fucking communist. Like, there's a pretty big difference, you know? Ouch. Yeah, I know you can change the layout, but like, I know you can change the layout, but at the same time, Newfoundland and Nova Scotia would be hit with a full-on hurricane. R.I.P., dude. Damn. Can you convince V to be a Hololive girl? I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna do it, dude. I don't think he's gonna do it, dude. But yeah, like I'm trying to find like just as global. Okay, fuck. I hate this thing. All right, whatever. Let's move on. Let's move on, dude. No packages today, which is fine. We can just hop right into the news. I don't mind. Okay. It was a goddamn statist. Yeah, I guess so. So, $5 club, Patreon, Subscribe Star, YouTube memberships, and Twitch. $5 through any of those recurring sources, you get into the $5 club. The bots will automatically put you in it if you connect up your Discord with your Twitch. If you $100 PayPal me and then send me the receipt, you can basically get into the $5 club for life if that is something that you're interested in. It's a better deal to do it for life if you plan to be here for more than like 2 years. Russell Patton for 5. Speaking of hurricanes, I still haven't seen a Hurricane Laura video from you. Working on it, dude. Working on it. Can you imagine V starts a channel called VTuber? That'd be hilarious, dude. Okay, so give me one. Yeah, don't donate to that Streamlabs link. I'm just gonna delete it because it's dude. Oh god, I'm so pissed. Like how and why? And you know what's weird? Like okay, what the fuck happened? Okay, Jesus Christ. The thing is, I already connected PayPal. Streamlabs. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's the P.O. box, by the way, if you want to send me dumb packages to open. Since we've been doing that a little bit. Connect it. You fucking... Skip. Finish. Okay. What is this? Okay. Okay. Like, I've kind of noticed. What? All my settings, like, disappeared. That I just put up. And also, there's no, like, donation link. What? Seriously. There's no like streamlabs.com/whatever to donate to in my back end. What a fucking... What a terrible fucking system, dude. My God. You know what? If you do donate to the Game Boomers one though, the streamlabs.com/Game Boomers, I do get it. I just can't see it. Fuck. Anyway, let's just move on because I don't want to deal with this anymore. And money's nice, but I don't want to like hold up the show. It's not. It's important, but it's not that important. So let's go. What do we got here? Screen. John Boyne accidentally includes Zelda video game monsters in his novel. Yep, Madry Bread. As it turns out, like on the Twitch Streamlabs page, it's right fucking there, front and center. On the YouTube Streamlabs page, it doesn't exist. Okay, dude. All right. Anyway, yeah, John Boyne, the award-winning author of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, has acknowledged that a cursory Google led him to accidentally including monsters from the popular video game Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So, in one section, okay, so the novel starts at 1 AD and ends 2,000 years later, following a narrator and his family. In one section, the narrator sets out to poison Attila the Hun, using ingredients including an Octorok eyeball and the tail of the red Lizzophos and 4 Hylian shrooms. Let's read this. Okay, yeah. The dyes that I used in my dressmaking were composed from various ingredients, depending on the color required, but almost all required nightshade, sapphire, keys wing, the leaves of the silent princess plant, Octorok eyeball, swift violet, thistle, and hightail lizard. In addition, for the red I had used for Abrila's dress, I employed spicy pepper, the tail of the red Lizzophos, and 4 Hylian shrooms. Oops. Yeah, the book is not a fantasy. It's a historical drama set in the real world. Oops. Okay, let's keep going here. And check this out. Remember in high school, teachers would be like, your college professors will not tolerate this kind of behavior. What kind of behavior are we talking about anyway? Dear Professor, I had some technical difficulties and outside distractions during the test today. Something hit my computer and caused it to submit the test when I had less than half of the questions answered. By something, I mean a meatball that had tragically fallen onto my keyboard as I was taking the exam. This said meatball caused some malfunctions within my laptop and caused the test to submit itself. While I have yet to comprehend how this sequence of events even occurred, I provided you some preliminary evidence of the event occurring. I know that you dropped the lowest module test grade, but I just wanted to let you know that this grade was an accident, and I've been working very hard with the material. I completely understand that a falling meatball is no excuse for the failing grade on this exam, but is there any possibility of retaking my test? Yeah, she's eating a meatball sub. Meatball falls out of the sub and exits the test. Oops. This is the danger, dude. This is the danger of doing school at home. 39%. Man, that's rough. Here's the professor. Well, this is certainly a new and unusual excuse for a low score, but for that reason it seems unlikely that you made it up. I've extended your deadline for Module 6 until midnight tonight. You should be able to go back to the test and finish it. You can, of course, decide to drop this test on as your low score, up to you. I would recommend you take the test either before or after your dinner. Well, yeah, see, even when I eat at my computer, I move the keyboard out of the fucking way, man. They knew the risks. Okay. Ontario woman kicked out of bingo hall for not using a mask to cover the breathing hole in her neck. Now, Naomi, are you over there laughing at the fucking... Naomi's still in the room, and she's like silently laughing at the articles I'm reading out. Hey, Naomi, you okay? Okay. So, this is a funny story, but it's also kind of stupid because if you think about it, most of the problems with coronavirus transmission come from the saliva that you breathe out. If you're just breathing out air through your neck hole, there's going to be almost no transmission there, dude. But they want her to cover up her neck hole with a fucking mask. Okay. An Ontario woman was battling lung cancer who breathes through a hole in her neck, was kicked out of her local bingo hall because her breathing hole wasn't covered with a mask. According to her son, the 67-year-old was excited to see her friends again when the bingo hall reopened following the COVID-19 shutdown. But things didn't go as planned when she arrived earlier this month. When she got inside, management asked her to leave. She was told to leave by management if she didn't cover up the hole on her neck. She explained that was impossible to do. That's how she breathes. Like, fuck, dude. Like, it's not like when you put the mask around your mouth and you can kind of breathe around it. Like, you plug an air hole up in your neck, you're fucked. Like, Jesus Christ. My mom left. She was too embarrassed. She decided to go back to the bingo hall the next weekend and try to enter again, but she didn't make it past the front door before being stopped. Aw, dude, dude, come on. This is fucked. Like, fucking hell. Like, okay, so the bingo hall is like a private business. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, fine. But it's still bullshit. Like, they didn't do the wrong thing. They're within their rights to do that, but it's still like, well, you're kind of shitty. Oh, and yeah, apparently the company's policy is if a mask inhibits a person's ability to breathe in any way, they're not required. Well, then fucking pull your heads out of your asses, dudes. Come on. Okay, what's this here? Oh yeah, Archie, the official Archie Comics Twitter. Please stop writing Archie is a simp in the comments of our YouTube videos. You will receive a permanent ban from our channel. And of course, this exploded, so they used the code SIMP for 55% off of your next order on online Archie stuff. So I guess they leaned into the meme. Okay, simp, 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 simp. Everyone just commenting simp, simp. Hillary Clinton alternate history series Rodham in development at Hulu. Do we really need like this alternate history Hillary bullshit? Because people can't deal with the fact that they fucking lost. Hulu has optioned the rights to an alternative history book, Rodham, which takes place in a world where Hillary Rodham never married Bill Clinton. Here's $5 from Vertengritz. Thank you very much. If we all just stopped serving police in our businesses while they enforced draconian lockdowns and told them to strike, we'd all be in a better spot. Yeah, maybe so. It might need to be the case when we get to that, because the actual situation's getting better, and yet the lockdown's worsening. It's kind of ridiculous. The series is described as telling the story of an ambitious young woman developing her extraordinary mind in the latter part of the 20th century, moving from idealism to cynicism and all the way back again. Yeah, okay. That sounds terrible. Yeah. Alternate history Hillary, dude. People actually wrote this book and they're making it into a show. More female war criminals. Absolutely. More female drone pilots. Do we get an alternate history Naomi without Devin? No, you don't, because that never happens. That's right, Naomi? She just nodded. She still grows up to serve Soros. Oh, God. Yeah, there are people who are still like, dude, please just give me my alternate timeline where Hillary won. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Masturbation will make your hands pregnant in the afterlife. Dude. Damn. That's pretty excellent, doesn't it? A truly nightmarish scenario. Jeez, this picture's pretty nightmarish. God damn. A Muslim televangelist has given a stark warning to the world's masturbators, claiming during a live TV interview that their hands will become pregnant in the afterlife. Look at this Chad. He has 12,500 followers. That's not that many followers on Twitter, dude. But he has 12,500 followers on Twitter. He urged people to resist Satan's temptations, adding, "Moreover, one hadith states that those who have sexual intercourse with their hands will find their hands pregnant in the afterlife." It's like, would you just have like fat hands? Do like little hand babies come out of your wrist? Like, how does this work? If our viewer was single, I could recommend he marry. But what can I say now? He didn't specify whether this means that your hands would have babies or lots of tiny little other hands. Are there any hand gynecologists in the afterlife? Is abortion allowed there? Do you think being pregnant is a God-given punishment, I guess? Oh, man. I swear to God, I've been, like, saving articles now for the past... Like, I pile up articles and then do... like I'll talk about, like, between 10 and 20 every week. I think this round of articles are going to be all ridiculous fucking nonsense. Why I decided to take the word chief out of my CEO title to respect indigenous people. You did it, dude. You did it. This will surely cure smallpox. A few weeks ago, in my role... Okay, hold on. $5 from Doomhand. Not my fault my hands are so sexy. Thanks for the donations, guys. Here we go. A few weeks ago, in my role as the President and Chief Executive Officer of Technical Safety BC, I sent an email to our 450 employees about racism, and in particular, systemic racism against people of color. I wrote about my hope that the Black Lives Matter movement would present Canada with an opportunity to define what a better world looks like. Yeah, we did that. We did it already. It was called being the end point of the Underground Railroad. Because we didn't have slavery. You fucks. I also wrote that deeply seated racism in our society includes racism towards Indigenous peoples, which it does, true enough, the original inhabitants of these lands. In response, many Technical Safety BC employees from across British Columbia took the opportunity to share their experiences and expressed calls for action and reflection. In particular, I was urged to consider the importance of language and titles that many of us adopt and use without thinking. Yeah, speaking of that. Yeah. Madry Bread, for Madry Bread's company, he's now Chief El Presidente. Good job, dude. What should my title be for SFO? What should my I don't know. Maybe just like Chief Oppressor? I don't mind being called Chief Oppressor. What do you think, Naomi?
No comment.
No comment? What title should you have?
Also no comment.
Chief Thought? Oh, no, you know what it is? It's Chief Harlot.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know, back before Naomi and I were dating, we were friends for like a year, and I always just called her Harlot, and it was great. Ethan for $5. Thank you. If I can't find pussy around me, then I'm stuck with Jill. Not my fault, bud. Sargon's not here, dude. He stole my time slot for fucking streaming, so I had to start a little bit later. Okay, so let's continue reading this nonsense here. Okay. As folks who know me well will tell you, I am a stickler for inclusive language. I often interrupt people, board directors, heads of organizations, politicians, and others, if I feel they are using titles for our employees that are outdated. So you're a stick in the mud. Okay, I got it. Leaf in chief. That's pretty good. Leaf in chief. The shogun of obesity. Fuck off. So to receive constructive feedback on my own use of language made me sit up and take notice. One particular courageous colleague pointed out that I was using a word in my title, President and Chief Executive Officer, that represents something deeply meaningful to many Indigenous peoples. It is a word that is honored and respected in First Nations culture and conveys a meaning very different to organizational leadership. The origin of my title is European. Sargon stream is done now, Yiz. But yeah, I just waited for him to be done. The origin of my title is European. That doesn't give me a pass. Yes, it does. Like, if the native word for chief and the European word for chief are two different words with two different histories, you can use the European one because, like, British culture and French culture and whatever, they're legitimate cultures, dude. They have their own words, their own ideas. It's fine. Asking how racism affects a person and being given an answer means I can choose to listen and do something, or I can stay silent. I could be the CEO of racism. I could be the CEO of racism, dude. That was my desk on the Minecraft server. Someone put like a sign on my desk saying the CEO of racism. I have long been a champion for Indigenous rights and reconciliation. Yet I am ashamed to say the thought had never even occurred to me that the title I proudly held could evoke such a response, or even viewed as disrespectful to the very reconciliation process that I support. So upon my reflection, I have changed my title within the organization to President and Lead Executive Officer. Lead Executive Officer instead of Chief Executive Officer. Okay, all right. Are you being led around on a lead then? Like, is that what it is? I know what she means by lead. I was joking. From a day-to-day business perspective, a title is simply a title. Making this change will not affect the role or responsibilities, and there may even be times when business demands the use of the previous title. This is literally just fucking virtue signaling. Then there's nothing to this, is there? Yeah. If you would be the CEO of Racismus. Okay, hold on here. But when the issue of reconciliation and the need to lead by example, an industry title is indeed much more than a simple word, particularly when it is backed up by other actions that reflect and respect the culture of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people on whose traditional, ancestral, and unceded lands we live and work. I'm pretty sure they were fucking ceded. All right? Traditional, yes. Ancestral, absolutely. Unceded, no. I mean, we would not want to do any conquering nowadays because we have different moral standards. But back then, the moral standard of the day was you conquered other people when you could. And the Europeans did that to the North Americans. And in fact, I don't even think they meant to. Okay, no. The Spanish and the Portuguese meant to, for sure. But like the English and the French, the smallpox thing was largely an accident. Like, they didn't know that contacting these people would just cause them to contract diseases that would wipe out 90% of the entire population of the fucking continent, you know? It wasn't planned. But nonetheless, yeah. Like, we had to figure out through a lot of philosophical thought why racism was bad, why slavery was bad, why you can't just conquer other peoples and take their stuff. Like, before we figured that shit out, that was considered moral to do. So the fact that we did it in the past, you can be like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, oops, that sucks. Like your ancestors suffered and ours prospered, and there's some imbalance there. But nobody alive today did that shit. And certainly, the lands were not unceded. The lands are not unceded; they're conquered. And you can say what you want about that, but that is the political reality of the current situation. Anyway, this is nonsense, as always. Italian police find cocaine hidden inside of coffee beans. Dude, best fucking coffee. Look at this. Look at this shit. This is a very small article. Italian police have discovered cocaine hidden inside individual coffee beans in a package sent from Colombia. Police at the airport said they became suspicious of the package as it was addressed to Asentino D'Antonio, the name of a crime boss in the film John Wick Chapter 2. Why would you fucking do that? A 50-year-old man was arrested after trying to collect the package from a Florence tobacco shop. Wow, man. Imagine like someone not knowing and, grinding up these beans and making coffee out of it. You'd probably fucking die. Valentina Sampio is the first transgender Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. And to be fair, she looks quite feminine. She definitely passes. But, like, she's not even on, like, my top 25 of hottest trans women. So why did she end up being the model? Like, you can find a dozen OnlyFans bitches that are better looking than her. She's not like, she's above average, obviously, but like, if this is supposed to be some kind of big step forward for trans people, you could have gone with somebody else, I think. The coffee's nearly done. Hold on. There was some coffee grounds in the bottom of the mug. Yeah, she looks fine, Yeah. But she made history by becoming the first transgender model to appear in the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. And now everybody's penis is confused. What? Naomi? You want to join in on this weekly sip? Naomi. Okay, how about this? Do you think she's good looking, Naomi? Take a look. Put your glasses on. They're on the nightstand.
Yes.
Would you do?
Probably.
Would you suck that wiener?
Probably.
Okay, well, there we go. That coffee is called the Sheen at Starbucks. Okay, so in a personal essay on her website, the model thanked the publication for seeing and respecting me as I truly am, and for understanding that more than anything, I am human. Yeah, fair enough, Yeah, fair enough. Brazil is a beautiful country, but it also hosts the highest number of violent crimes and murders against the trans community in the world. Yeah, I've actually heard about that. Like Brazil treats trans people way fucking worse than anywhere in the West. You know what I mean? Give me Lilith in a bikini. That might be nice. Naomi, please join. What are you doing? Put on some fucking clothing.
There is clothing.
Naomi. I think you have a different definition of what fucking clothing is. Stug for $5. To be fair, isn't it kind of a bigger step forward if the trans model isn't one of the hottest ones? Yeah, I mean, fair enough, right? Fair enough. Thanks for the $1, King Canuck. King Kakuk. Cozy pill is better. God damn it, Naomi. Jesus Christ. We can't see her, so it's fine. Well, in any case, yeah, like, good for her, right? I feel like this is like, okay, on the broader scope, it's virtue signaling, right? On the personal scope, good for her. It's an accomplishment, so good for her. Okay, Dragon Fat. She unironically walks around the Game Boomers set naked, sometimes even during like a post show, and I'll just be like, I'm gonna turn the camera on, and then she like screams and runs away. I don't know if we covered this. I mean, we might have already, but we might as well do it really quickly. 16-year-old boy gets breasts after being given estrogen at the juvenile hall, California suit says. State mandated femboys. A 16-year-old boy was detained at the juvenile hall in Los Angeles and given estrogen for a behavioral disorder, causing him to develop breasts. Jesus Christ. He was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, which literally is just parents can't raise their kids, don't like that their kids have their own wills. Samples showed that he had elevated levels of testosterone. So he was prescribed 30 doses of estrogen without obtaining his or his parents' informed consent. Which makes no fucking sense. We covered this? Yeah, okay, we covered this. But yeah, real quickly then. Estrogen is not a treatment for ODD. So why the fuck would anyone give him... Yeah, they gave him estrogen as an experimental treatment. That's fucked up, dude. That's fucked up. Since I already covered it, we won't get into it too much. That's pretty fucked up. Okay. Sorry, I forgot. Flat Earthers quarantined after taking wrong route to find the end of the world. This is not a joke article. This is a real event that happened. 2 Flat Earthers were forced to quarantine after trying to reach the end of the world during Italy's lockdown. The pair, a middle-aged man and woman from Venice, set out to prove their theory that the world is flat by attempting to set sail to Lampedusa, an island between Sicily and North Africa. The Flat Earthers left Venice during the Italian lockdown and went to Termini Imerese, a town on Sicily's northern coast, where they sold their car and bought a boat. From there, they headed for Lampedusa, which is off the south coast of Sicily, and therefore would require the couple to sail around the island. However, the boat didn't make it to Lampedusa, and instead, the Flat Earthers ended up on the island of Ustica, off Sicily's northwest coast, exhausted and tired. Salvador Ziccici, a doctor of the Maritime Health Office of the Ministry of Health, who helped the pair after they got lost, pointed out that they were using a compass to help them navigate and said, "The funny thing is that they orient themselves with the compass, an instrument that works on the basis of terrestrial magnetism, a principle that they, as flat earthers, should reject." The explorers were taken into quarantine. They tried to escape and return to the sea, but were again stopped and taken back to quarantine. A few days later, they tried to escape again. So this pair of flat earthers believe the end of the world is in Lampedusa. The Flat Earth Society believes that the Earth is surrounded on all sides by an ice wall that holds the oceans back. This ice wall is what explorers have named Antarctica. Beyond the ice wall is a topic of great interest to the Flat Earth Society. To our knowledge, no one has been very far past the ice wall in return to tell of their journey. What we do know is that it encircles the Earth and serves to hold in our oceans and protect us from whatever lies beyond. Oh my god. That ice wall, dude. One theory claims that the Earth is like a Pac-Man game. Just as Pac-Man reaches one end of the screen and appears on the other side, some flat earthers believe that this kind of teleportation is a logical possibility and explains why people don't fall off the edge of the world when they reach the end. Holy fuck, dude. Bacteria live despite burial in seafloor mud for 100 million years. Ancient communities of bacteria jump to life with a fresh meal. Damn, dude. You know those videos where people open or even eat military rations from World War II? Is this link going to be Steve 1989? Yes, it is. Haha. Okay, I knew it would be. All right. So they discovered life deep below the ground or below the sea floor isn't studied as well as readily accessible surface world. The International Space Station says hi. Thanks, dude. Thank you. Schnitzel from Cheddar 2. Waiting till that kid is 18 before I blow my load. Yeah, Schnitzel. All right. So anyway. Life deep below ground or below the seafloor isn't studied as well as the readily accessible surface world. Sampling has shown that seafloor mud in different parts of the ocean differ a lot in terms of the types and abundance of microbial life that are present. But in this case, the researchers sampled deep sediments in the middle of the South Pacific, where there's extremely little organic matter available for life to grow on. Hey, welcome back. Have some coffee? Why not? I finished mine.
Exactly.
We'll split mine with yours. That's to be equal. Socialism. Ow. Sticks, bacteria, MRE. They grab. Oh, by the way, do you want to have some of Dave's hipster bagels for breakfast? Dave got a bunch of hipster bagels. Yesterday I had one that was rosemary and rock salt flavored. Hipster as fuck. Anyway, they grab plugs of sediment up to about 70 meters below the seafloor. Very little sediment accumulates there, so that 70-meter thick pile of clay represents about 100 million years of time. Damn. Muds at the bottom of lakes or marshes often lack oxygen, as the respiration of bacteria breaking down organic matter consumes all of it. But food is so sparse here that oxygen, nitrate, and phosphate were present even in the deepest mud. The researchers took these little plugs of sediment and injected substances that bacteria can use to grow, like sugar and ammonia, and sure enough, bacteria grew and gobbled them up. Crazy, man. No, what's interesting, though, is that this bacteria laid dormant for 100 years, then they gave it a bit of food and it came back to life. Like, that's nuts, man. Imagine just going into a low energy state for 100 million years waiting for food. Like, dude. I saw your wrestling video. That was the most convoluted way of saying I like wrestling, deal with it. The thing is, at this point, I actually don't think I would watch wrestling on my own. Like if I was at somebody's house and they wanted to watch it, I'd probably watch it and enjoy it. But I wouldn't pull it up myself anymore. I just think that it has some kind of value, like culturally. Anyway, our results suggest that microbial communities, widely distributed in organic poor abyssal sediment, consist mainly of aerobes that retain their metabolic potential under extremely low energy conditions for up to 101.5 million years. That's nuts, dude. That's nuts. Okay, what's next? What do we got here? Speaking of millions, 1 million cannibal ants have trapped in a Soviet nuclear bunker have escaped. This is going to be like Fallout where they come out and they're like giant fire ants that breathe fire everywhere. A colony of up to 1 million cannibal ants trapped in a nuclear bunker for years have escaped, scientists in Poland have said. The ants, which had no food source other than their dead nestmates, were first discovered in 2013, were found to be solely made up of worker ants, meaning they could not reproduce. How their numbers grew so large was a mystery. Researchers have been studying the colony to understand how it functioned and installed an escape route to see if its members would leave their home if given the option. Why would you give them a fucking escape route? Jesus. They were carrying out a survey of bats living in an abandoned Soviet nuclear bunker when they came across wood ants living in an ammunition bunker where nuclear weapons were once kept. The ants had no access to the outside world and appeared to have come from a nest that was above that was positioned over a ventilation pipe. When the ants fell down the pipe, they were entombed in the bunker. However, after returning to the site 2 years later, scientists found the colony was not only still there, but it had grown in numbers. This was despite there being no obvious food source, no heat, and no light. A population estimate suggested there were hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million cannibal ants living in the bunker. Ants are known to set up colonies in unusual places. Nests have previously been found in the chassis of a car and inside a wooden box in complete darkness that can only be accessed by a tiny skip at the base. However, in all other cases, the ants were able to come and go. The masses of ants, the masses of ant workers trapped in the bunker had no choice. They were merely surviving and continuing their social tasks on the conditions set by the extreme environment. Holy fuck, that's so many ants. Oh my god. Do you want to see this picture, Naomi? Naomi is very bug phobic. Oh my god. Oh. Jesus. Holy fuck, dude. In 2016, scientists found that the colony was still there. And the team set out to analyze its behavior. They installed a boardwalk that led to another ventilation pipe that the ants could use to escape the bunker. A year later, they returned to the site to find the colony had almost completely vanished. The team inspected the corpses that had been left behind and found bite marks and holes, mostly in the abdomen. This, they said, was evidence that the ants were eating their deceased nestmates in order to survive. After being provided an escape route, the ants appear to have made their way back to the original nest. On falling down the original ventilation pipe, they were able to make their way back, so the bunker was deserted. Wow. That's nuts, man. Anyway, now they're out there. Enjoy. Google might owe you $12. Dude, you want your $12 from Google? Let's get it. It took only 9 years, but Google Plus may finally be worth something, specifically $12. Past users of the now defunct social media platform, $5 from Brickman, but thank you. I had ants in my car's electrical system, $720 worth. Damn, that sucks. So, past users of the now defunct social media system were hipped to a potential windfall. Hipped? Is this like a new term? Hipped? They were hipped to a potential windfall Tuesday morning by an ominous-looking email that helpfully assured wary recipients you are not being sued. At issue is at least one bug which revealed non-public user data to third-party developers, and as a result, and a resulting class action lawsuit. According to the litigation website, you may qualify for a piece of the $7.5 million settlement if you're in the U.S., had a consumer Google Plus account between January 1st, 2015 and April 2nd, 2019, and had your non-public profile information exposed as a result of the software bugs Google announced on October 8th and December 10th. You have until October 8th, 2020 to file. So, as it turns out, Google Google Plus fucked up, leaked your data. If you want $12 from them, you can go and get your $12 just by filing it in this claim right here. Yeah. Go ahead. Here. You guys want $12 from Google? I'll post the link in the chat. Go get it, guys. I can't get it because I'm a Canadian, but yeah, go ahead. CIA keeps database of Japanese-style faces to use on online forums. Damn, dude. So the glowies actually have like a bunch of anime avatars. That's crazy. The CIA documents published by WikiLeaks show that the CIA kept a database of Japanese-style faces to utilize in online forums. The WikiLeaks data dump, which consists of 8,761 files and documents, was taken from a high-security isolated network situated inside the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia. Within the data dump, a folder called Japanese-style faces can be found. These consist of... they're not avatars. They're ASCII expressions designed to represent faces and emoticons commonly used on internet message boards to denote a particular reaction. Dude, this is what the CIA does. They catalog, like, pedo bear faces. Here, I'll post it in the chat. Thanks, CIA. How do you do, my fellow weebs? So, whenever you see one of these, it actually might be a glowy. Some have hypothesized that these emoticons are designed to help CIA hackers infiltrate online communities, posing as normal users of internet message boards in order to collect data. The worst part about these Japanese-style ASCII expressions is that they're not even very good. The majority of Japanese ASCII is meant to mimic the emotional shorthand used in both manga and anime. Any of these would stick out like a sore thumb in the communities for which they're intended. What the CIA really needs is a dedicated weeb. Yeah, there's no table flipper. Like, there's no table flipper at all. Like only a few of these actually look relevant. Like this one looks like it'd be used on like a real message board. This one's a meme. Maybe this one, right? This one for sure, and maybe like that part of this one. The rest of them are like just weird. Oh no, this guy too. This guy here. Yeah. The hell is a glowy? Okay, so this is here. Hold on. Okay, check this out. Okay. Glowy. Normally used for the CIA, but also used for agencies like the ATF, FBI. Their inability to blend into the native population's habits, patterns, and speech makes them stick out like a sore thumb to the population. Hence, they glow in the dark. The most common trappings of government shills are the inability and hesitation to use the major racial slurs, improper use of memes, and the pushing of mainstream political theories. See also glow in the dark and glow posting. Yeah. So basically, if someone is, it doesn't even necessarily mean someone who works for the government, but basically someone who very obviously doesn't fit in with the current community, but they're trying very hard to appear like they fit in. They're glowies, right? They glow in the dark. Yeah. And also, yeah, there was it the guy who made Temple OS? He thought like he was being tracked by the CIA because he had like some weird mental degenerative disease or something. He had like schizophrenia or something, and he was like going nuts near the end of his life. And he thought he was being tracked by glow in the dark CIA nibbas. Yeah, and he was the first person to use to use that. Yeah, to use that phrase, glow in the dark. And so it's basically become. Yeah, it's basically become this kind of thing. So, and also like it also expanded out into like Fallout stuff as well. So like they'll post like glowing ones from the Fallout lore. You know those ghouls that are like heavily irradiated and they're like green and they're like they let off waves of radiation in Fallout. They're called glowing ones. They'll post like glowing ones from Fallout, and they'll like have them wearing like FBI hats and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Terry Davis was his name, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's what a glowy is. Yeah. But that guy's story is depressing, my dry bread. But he is the source of the idea of like glow in the dark kind of thing, and how it kind of mimetically transformed into being somebody who very clearly does not fit in where they belong, but is trying to like infiltrate. Yeah. And well, that's why when I posted my parlor skepticism video, I used a picture of a glowing one from Fallout 4, and they were wearing like a parlor shirt and stuff because I thought that parlor was like collecting information. I still think it's collecting information for the government. Frankly, every site does nowadays. It's not even like a conspiracy theorist anymore or a conspiracy theory. So yeah, they glow in the dark. They're glowing ones. KFC gets deep fried after posting Black Power chicken drumstick. Dude, look at this. The righteous shadow cast by the chicken drumstick looks like a Black Power fist. Happy Emancipation Day. What is that? Hold on. Give me a second here. So, only thing I got to say to this. Yeah. Dance with that chicken, dude. Who the fuck thought this commercial was a good idea? Some good chicken, man. Fucking hell. Fucking hell, KFC. Can you get your shit together? So, KFC was grilled by angry social media users after the fast food chain marked a holiday celebrating the end of slavery with a Black Lives Matter inspired chicken ad. Happy Emancipation Day, guys. Oh my god, this is great. This is fucking incredible, dude. What the fuck is this? Kazakh bodybuilder's marriage to sex doll girlfriend on hold because of coronavirus? Kazakh bodybuilder Yuri Tolchenko has revealed his planned nuptials with sex doll fiancée Margot have fallen victim to the coronavirus. Dude, like, you're a good-looking enough man. You could probably find a guy, like not a guy, well, maybe a guy, but like, you could probably find a partner yourself. You don't need a sex doll, man. Fucking hell, man. Jesus Christ. In a first, a person's immune system fought HIV and won. Holy fuck. Analysis of 1.5 billion cells from this rare case found no trace of the virus. Some rare people may essentially be able to cure themselves of HIV infections. That's wild, dude. Twice, people infected with HIV have had levels of the virus in their bodies drop to undetectable levels after bone marrow transplants, never to return. Now it appears that a person may have cleared HIV with no outside help. It would be the first known instance of a spontaneous cure. Analysis of more than 1.5 billion cells taken from a patient known as EC2 showed no HIV copies in any of them. The person still has non-functional copies of the virus. While no one can say for sure that the intact virus isn't hiding in a cell somewhere in this person's body, the findings suggest that some people's immune systems can get the upper hand. A second person, EC1, had just one functional copy of HIV in more than 1 billion blood cells analyzed. And that copy of HIV was stuck in what is essentially a genetic supermax prison. That genetic lockup may be key to being able to naturally control the virus. That's wild, dude. Will he still be able to after have the sex doll? Maybe, Stug. I don't know. This is cool, man. These two people are part of a rare group of people known as elite controllers, meaning they are able to maintain very low or undetectable levels of HIV without antiretroviral drugs. These people have no symptoms or clear signs of damage from the virus. It's not even that we're talking a few months or a few years. It's extremely long term. For 99.5% or more of the world's 35 million people infected with HIV, drugs are the only way to keep the virus down. Science, baby. Harvest their stem cells. Yeah, maybe this can lead to a treatment. Like, dude. Researchers want to know how elite controllers squash the virus for long periods of time. It's been difficult to figure out. No one has recorded the first fight scenes between HIV and the elite controllers' immune systems. Yeah, like there's no way to figure it out unless you like intentionally infect people with HIV, which is like fucking terrible. We missed the initial punches the immune system has thrown at the virus. Yeah, like you know what you could do? If someone is genetically predisposed to be a controller, you could like take somebody who's like 80 years old, like they're going to be dead in the next 10 years anyway, and just infect them with it. If they consent, obviously. They can like infect them with it and then see if they happen to be one of the rare ones that are elite controllers and see what happens. Yeah, like if I were like 80 years old or something, I would probably be like, hey, do you want to test like some weird shit on me just to see if it works? Maybe it'll help somebody else. Like, why not? You know, I'm on my way out anyway. Fuck it. Yeah. About a quarter of elite controllers have genetic variants in key immune system genes that may help them get a handle on the virus. They are genetic chads, dude. It's also possible that the elite controllers were infected with wimpy versions of HIV. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. The Xbox Elite Controller. In any case, that's really cool, man. A lot of this is just like technical stuff now, the rest of the article, but it's really cool that this is going on. I actually, maybe not cancer, because cancer is such a wide variety of diseases, kind of like the way that the cold is and the flu is. But I think we actually might find a cure for HIV within our lifetimes. For real. Boeing 747s still use floppy disks to get critical software updates. Man. It's been approximately 12 million years since most of us last used a floppy disk, but apparently the antiquated tech still plays a critical role in delivering software updates to Boeing 747s. That's kind of funny, actually. As part of this year's virtual DEF CON hacker conference, Pen Test Partners showed off a video walkthrough of a British Airways 747 after the airline decided to retire its entire fleet last month due to the global pandemic. The roughly 10-minute tour is a neat glimpse into the plane's rarely seen avionics bay and cockpit, where Pen Test Partners discovered a 3.5-inch floppy drive. The drive in the 747 navigation database loader, it needs to be updated every 28 days. Some poor engineer has to visit each 747 and manually deliver updates via floppy disk, or the planes wouldn't be able to fly. Wow. Why? Why are you still using floppies? To be fair, yeah, like, it's an old plane that first took flight in 1988. These days, floppy disks are mostly relegated to maintaining commercial and industrial legacy systems, things that were built to last but failed to future-proof themselves. I mean, fair. Yeah, it wasn't until last year that the U.S. military stopped using 8-inch floppy disks to help manage its nuclear weapon systems. $5 from Thane Michael. Thanks for these streams, Dev. It always helps me get through my work days at the Foundry. Well, thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much. Lilith! Hey! How's it going, man? Guys, that's Lilith Lovett's YouTube channel. And I would highly recommend that every single person here go follow her, because she wants to start making content in the near future on her own channel. So, absolutely, go give her a follow, okay? German hacker turns 10 sausages into working piano. Dude, this sausage piano is a perfect example of precise German engineering. Some time ago, mayonnaise had been proved to be an instrument so mighty that we're guessing that anything can be an instrument if you try hard enough at this point. In a perfect example of precise and high-quality German engineering, hacker Patrick of Patrick's World has a new instrument named Bockwurst Clavier in line for music lovers, which is made up of 10 Bockwurst sausages that were connected to a computer. Damn, you just poke them and they, like, is there music? Like, is there a video? Where's it? I guess there's not. Oh, this sucks. Okay. Well, damn, I wanted to hear it. Shit. Yeah, of course, Lilith. Oh, if you're around, I'm nearly done the stream, though. If you're around after, I'd like to chat with you. We have to figure it out Monday. We're recording a thing on Monday, and those of you who have been waiting to do the guest dumps, we're doing another one Monday. We're getting through everyone. Sorry, guys. Action is needed to stop the use of killer robots. The US and Russia are said to be in a group of military powers who have rejected proposals for regulation on autonomous weapons. Damn, dude. Captain Pipsqueak for $5. Thank you. To be fair, there's a good thing about having such old infrastructure and nuke silos. They're so old it's not possible to hack them from the outside. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. You can't, like, go in if it's not connected to the internet, right? Damn. An increasing number of countries want action to prevent the development of fully autonomous weapons and to ensure human control is retained, a new report shows. Research has shown that 30 countries want the introduction of an international treaty over such weapon systems, which would be able to select and engage targets without any meaningful human intervention. So I guess we've figured out that the Geth are going to be a problem at some point, and we have to deal with them. Of course, the U.S. and Russia are military powers who have firmly rejected those proposals, because I guess we literally just want to have Skynet, you know? Nothing this time, Silver. I'll check it next week. Yeah. Of course, the UK is also developing weapons with some autonomous solutions. We're going to have, like, computers fighting computers in the future, I swear to God. Here, I'm going to quickly get through this last one because I really have to piss. I really have to piss very badly. So let's just kind of do it really quick. Overweight Chinese man's big belly, it's not me, saves him from falling down a well. Look at this guy. He's stuck in the well. Luckily, he's got guts. An overweight Chinese man found his big belly to be a lifesaver after it got wedged in a well and stopped him from falling down. The 28-year-old, only identified as Lou, got trapped in his family's well after breaking through wood that had been used to cover it. Look at this fucking guy. He remained that way as gobsmacked locals watched a team of at least 5 firefighters tie a strong rope around his waist to finally heave him out to safety, totally unharmed. Wow. That's incredible, dude. Damn. Gunt. It's not Ethan Ralph. It's not Ethan Ralph. Okay. I'm going to take off because I really have to pee and I have some things to do today. I'm editing another dump as well today, so I'm going to go do that. As always, if you want to support the channel, get into the $5 club, recurring subscription through Patreon, Subscribestar, YouTube, or my Twitch channel sub button. Connect up those accounts to your Discord. You get into the $5 club. Has to be recurring so the bot can handle it. $100 to my PayPal. You send me the receipt. I'll put you in the $5 club for life. And if you want to mail me your terrible, terrible envelopes full of anthrax and ricin, you can do so at the P.O. box, and I'll open up on the show. Okay. Yes. I'll go because my bladder's about to burst. See ya. I love you.